Alrighty, let's get started. I hope everyone's having a good Saturday afternoon here. I'll try and be as brief as possible. I'll go through my little administrative spiel of all the things happening this week and in the future, and some of the stuff from the past, and then I'll open the floor for questions and deal with any questions that anyone might have. Feel free to put questions in the chat box or do it by audio, video, your choice. So we are on to chapter 6 in this week coming. So we're back into the groove with a chapter 6 quiz due on Friday, as always, at 11:59 p.m. I've had, not in this course, but in another course with the same deadline, I've had some people that have submitted late, like within a minute or two of the 11:59 deadline, and wonder why they weren't getting marks for it. I've said it before, but I'll repeat myself. I don't know how to draw a line other than the line that is the due date. I don't know why there'd be an arbitrary 2-minute, 3-minute, 1 hour period of time that you waive the penalties. So everything that's due at 11:59 is due at 11:59. So that's how I work it. That's how it's fair for everyone. Everyone knows that going in. Midterms, we are about 2/3 of the way marking the midterms. I anticipate that the midterm marks will be available over the weekend or very early in the week. I definitely have to have them to you by Friday. I'll talk about that in a second, but I expect they'll be ready early in the week. Just on a note, myself and the workshop leaders that work with me had 2 midterms this week. So the other midterm was on Monday, ours was on Tuesday. So we are finishing off, or have finished off, the midterm that was on Monday, and we're sequentially getting to the midterm here for 1620, and we're getting through it in good order. So shouldn't be any problems in getting that. I'll release the marks to you as soon as they're available, and I'll make an announcement telling you that they are available as well. So I had, as expected, every year the same thing happens. About 3%, 3 to 5% of people miss the midterm through whatever, generally disorganization, not knowing that when the midterm was, despite the announcements or the publishing in the syllabus, the announcements on office hours, those sorts of things. So it's the same approach that I take with quizzes being due at 11:59. If you miss it, you miss it. I do not reward people by allowing them to make up midterms or do extra marks or anything like that at the expense of the people that actually showed up on time or scheduled something if they had a conflict and they needed to schedule a different time. So yeah, I'm it's 25% of the mark, and that really sucks if you miss your midterm, but you have the expectation is that you organize yourself and know when your midterms are. So yeah, that's my comment. I suspect that no one here missed the midterm, and probably no one that actually takes the time to watch the office hours afterwards missed the midterm, but that's the only way, again, that I know to be completely fair across the board to everyone. Our assignment is looming. Our term paper is looming. We are right now at March 5th. It is due on Tuesday, March 22nd, so not too far away. I hope that everyone is well on their way to writing that, so that they've got their sources at this point. They've got a whole bunch of written material, and they're starting to get into the editing process. Please pay attention to the format that I require for submission, which is in Word format. I will not accept anything else, and I apologize for those listening and attending that have heard this many times, but I'll say it for maybe someone that drops in unexpectedly and watches a recording or whatever. It's Word format, just like the assignment itself says. So yeah, keep moving forward with that. There are avenues you can go if you need help from the Academic Skills Center. It's probably getting a little late because they get jammed up at this time of year, but you do have that opportunity to get assistance and learn more about writing these kinds of papers. I provide lots of resources for you to study to understand not only what I want, but how to write a good paper. So, and I've said before, I look forward to reading those papers. The people that spend the time, they're fun to mark, they're fun to read. So yeah, I hope you're well on your way. If you're not, put it in turbo. You need to get going. Do not wait another week. Do not wait another day. You need to be working on this now, in my opinion. So, and then the last thing that I want to cover, Friday coming up is March 11th. March 11th is the course withdrawal date. What that means is that you can withdraw from the course without academic penalty, meaning if you withdraw from the course on March the 20th after the course withdrawal date, whatever marks that you've attained so far will go onto your academic record. So if you're in the situation where you're not sure you're going to make it, I would be talking to an academic advisor. I would be thinking very carefully about my next steps. If you're on pace to not make it through this course and you don't think you can get caught up in terms of getting the material digested, getting the rest of the quizzes done, getting the term paper in, and preparing for the final exam. So we're required as professors to have at least 25% of your mark available to you to make that analysis. You'll have significantly more than that. You can look up in the syllabus to see what the percentage is that of your mark that you will have before having to make that decision. I'm definitely not encouraging anyone to drop the course, but at some point, if things are really not going to work out for you, it is better to drop the course by a long shot than it is to fail the course. So I can tell you historically how this course ends up in terms of performance. I get probably 20% of the people that are in this course will be at 80% or higher, so an A. Then there'll be a good chunk, probably 25%, that'll be, let's say, mid 60s to 279. And then a few that just kind of squeak by, and I get 10 to 15% of students that fail the course every year. So, and many of them don't, I mean, it's no surprise for most of those people. They haven't handed anything in, or they've handed in a couple things and they skip the midterm, or they skip the final or whatever. So anyways, that's kind of the prognosis, and those are the things. Again, probably not the people that are attending now or watching the video that are contemplating that, but I do want to make you aware of that. It's something to consider for all your courses. The academic or the course withdrawal date is for all courses that are in the semester is this Friday. So that is all that I wanted to cover. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns? Already? Well, I'll just know, oh, so far, okay. I know it's been away, but when we start to prepare for the final, will it be similar to the midterm? Yes, it's going to be very similar to the midterm, only it'll be a little longer. It'll be, 50% longer. And as far as what to focus on, yeah, the format's going to be very, very similar. So what I tend to do, and I haven't finalized the exam itself yet. What I tend to do, I have to have it finalized by the end of this month, by my deadlines. There'll be a multiple choice block for sure, but then when we get into the short answers, there'll be some shorter answers, some multiple choice mixed in there, and then some longer answers in that, just to get to make sure that the student understands sort of the whole context of the course. So we will talk about that at great length. I won't do a mock. I will again give you some multiple choice stuff to practice. I won't do a mock on short answers. I mean, there's no good way to do that. I can't give you feedback. There's no way I can provide feedback on written answers, but I will give you a practice. Another thing I forgot that I did want to mention is that I've had students asking me, concerned, they see when the exam date is, they see that it's scheduled for the gym. I just want to reiterate what I've said in the past. The exam will be available in Peterborough, in Durham, and proctored online. So you will get an email. I don't think you guys have it yet. You can correct me if I'm wrong. That will ask you to say where you're going to write the final, whether you're going to write in Peterborough, Durham, or online. If you do not respond to that by the deadline, and this is not my deadline, this is IT's or online's deadline. You did get the email? Okay, excellent. So pay attention to that deadline. If you don't respond, you're going to be writing in Peterborough, and we will not change that. We're not playing games, the day before the exam. Oh, sir, I'm sorry. I live in Peru, and I can't possibly come to Peterborough. Well, it's your responsibility to tell us that you're writing online, okay? And I'll go a step further with that. As soon as you get the opportunity to book your exam, so your exam will be around the same time as the actual in-person exam, but not necessarily the exact same time. So that's the nice thing. If you're in, let's say you're in China and you're, whatever that is, 12 hours time away, you can book it at your schedule. So you will get an opportunity to choose a time, but if you leave it to the end, most of the slots will be booked up. Don't forget, this service is a service that's external to Trent. So they have all sorts of universities and colleges and stuff that they're working with. So, and they have limited capacity. So just, I'm just saying, be organized, get on top of it and respond. So you got the email. That's fantastic. Tarim, do you know what the deadline was to respond to that? What in that email? Do you know off the top of your head? I don't get a copy of the email. So March 18th. Okay, fantastic. So thank you for that. So you've got 13 days. Don't leave it. Please don't leave it. It makes for stressed out and frustrated students. And there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I am going to do about it. So, if you don't want to write in Peterborough, you need to respond. It's probably a good idea to respond even if you are writing in Peterborough. We get lists. We as the instructors and the workshop leaders get lists of who's going to be where. So that informs me how many exams that I send to Peterborough. I will be proctoring in Durham, typically. That's what normally happens. And one or more of the workshop leaders will proctor in Peterborough, but I have to know how many people are writing in each place to put out the right number of exams, obviously. So any other questions, comments? And like I said, we will, long before we get to the final, we'll talk about it. I'll certainly dedicate, generally it's a whole office hours. Probably the last office hours, we'll talk as extensively as anyone wants to about the final exam. I won't be telling you what questions there are, but I'll tell you exactly what format it's in so that you can prepare. Okay. This course, I probably have said this before, there's an opportunity to do very, very well in this course. So yeah, if you prepare well for the final, if you do the things that are asked of you, if you spend time on the assignment, you're going to be very happy with your mark, and we all can use a nice mark to bump our averages, right, for the courses that are harder or we don't do as well in. So any other questions, comments, concerns? I'm just taking a note of that March 18th date. Could I ask, one of you, any of you, just to forward me that that email. Just one of the folks that is in the class that's listening right now. I don't, if you're okay. Thank you. I have someone that's volunteered to do that. Thanks, Tareem. I appreciate that. Yeah, that way I just have it in front of me and I can speak to it to the other two classes that I have to talk to as well. Appreciate it. All right, if you don't have anything further for me, please get on with your Saturday. Thank you very much for taking the time to attend in person. I do appreciate it. I hope these continue to be useful. We're kind of business as usual for this week, but you should be thinking about that assignment that's coming like a freight train at this point. So, all right, thanks, guys.